The stars looked beautiful from the observation deck of the Velkari government building. Prime Minister Thelva stood there, watching the night sky with his 4 eyes filled with tears. His home planet had always been peaceful. His people had never known war. They built things, created art, sang songs that could make others cry with joy. They were farmers, scientists, teachers, and artists. They were not soldiers, but now soldiers surrounded their world. 3 weeks ago, the Crusade Dominion arrived. Their ships blocked out the sun. Their warriors descended from the sky like demons from old stories. The Crusade were conquerors. They had taken 17 worlds in the last 10 years. They did not ask for permission. They did not negotiate. They simply came and took what they wanted. Thelvas looked down at the communication device in his thin 3-fingered hand. The Galactic Council had just ended their emergency session. He had begged them for help. He had shown them images of burning cities. He had played recordings of children crying in the ruins. He had offered everything his people had. The council said no. They said the cost was too high. They said the Crusade were too powerful. They said they were sorry, but they had their own people to protect. One by one, the representatives from dozens of worlds made excuses and left the meeting. The Thaxian Empire said they needed time to consider. The Quarrelly Federation said they would send thoughts and prayers. The Merchants Guild offered to buy Velkari refugees at a fair price. Only one representative stayed until the end. Ambassador Chen from Earth, the human woman with dark eyes and hair the color of night. She listened to everything Thelvas said. She asked questions about the Crusade positions, their ship numbers, their weapons. Then she stood up, bowed her head slightly, and said something strange. "I need to make a call home." Then she left. Thelvas did not understand. Humans were new to the galaxy. They had only joined the Galactic Council 5 years ago. They were curious creatures, always asking questions, always wanting to learn. But they were small. Their military was tiny compared to the great empires. They had maybe 200 ships spread across their territories. What could they do? "Prime Minister," his aide called from behind him. "The Crusade are demanding our surrender again. They say if we do not respond in 6 hours, they will start bombing the coastal cities." Thelvas closed his eyes. The coastal cities held 30 million people. "Tell them we need more time." "They will not listen, sir." "Tell them anyway." The aide left. Thelvas was alone again with the stars. He thought about recording one final message. Something for history. Something to let the galaxy know that his people existed, that they mattered, that they deserved to be remembered. He activated the communication device again and set it to broadcast on all frequencies. "This is Prime Minister Thelvas of the Velkari people. We are a peaceful species. We have never attacked another world. We have never taken what was not ours. We build things. We create beauty. We love our children and hope for their future." His voice broke. "We asked the galaxy for help. We asked for salvation. No one came. I understand. I do not blame you. War is terrible. War is expensive. War is dangerous. But please remember us. Remember that we tried. Remember that we hoped." He paused. "Forgive us for hoping." He ended the transmission and walked back inside. There was nothing left to do but wait for the end. 3 days passed like a nightmare. The Crusade bombed 2 coastal cities, 10 million dead. The Velkari government moved underground. Everyone who could fit into the bunkers went down. Everyone else tried to hide or run. There was nowhere to run. The Crusade controlled the sky. Thelvas sat in the command bunker deep beneath the capital city. His military advisor, General Korath, stood beside him looking at screens that showed the enemy positions. There were so many red markers on the display. Crusade ships everywhere, Crusade soldiers in every major city, Crusade weapons pointed at everything his people loved. "Sir," a technician called out, "we are detecting something at the system edge." "More Crusade?" Thelvas asked tiredly. "No, sir. The signatures are different. Multiple vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel." General Korath moved to the technician station. His face changed. "Those are not Crusade ships. Who then?" "I do not know. The designs are unfamiliar. Wait. The computer is matching the signatures against the galactic database." The technician looked up with confusion in his eyes. "Sir, they are human ships." Thelvas felt something in his chest. Hope? No, he had learned not to hope. "How many?" 37 vessels detected so far. "No. 42. No." The count keeps rising. "Sir, there are over 60 ships. They are still coming." 60 human ships? General Korath shook his head. That is nearly a third of their entire fleet. What are they doing here? The communication console beeped. A message was coming through. It was text only in standard galactic common language. To the Velkari government, this is Fleet Admiral Sarah Kozlov of the Earth Defense Force. We received your call for help. We are here. Get your people to safety. This is going to get loud. Thelvis read the message 3 times. They came, he whispered. The humans came. Sir, should we respond? Yes.
Tell them we are grateful.
Tell them we will provide any support they need. Tell them how, sir. Another technician interrupted. The Kraith command ship is broadcasting. They are hailing the human fleet. Put it on speakers. The voice that came through was harsh and full of confidence. War Leader Zeshkor of the Kraith Dominion. Unknown vessels, this is Kraith territory now. You are trespassing. Turn back or be destroyed. You have 1 standard hour to comply. Silence. The humans did not respond. They should negotiate, General Korath said. The Kraith have over 300 ships in this system. The humans cannot win this fight. But Thelvis remembered Ambassador Chen's questions. She had asked about Kraith positions, about their weapons, about their tactics. She had not asked if the Velkari would pay Earth back. She had not asked what Earth would gain. She had only asked how to hurt the enemy. Maybe, Thelvis said quietly. The humans did not come here to negotiate. On the display screens, the human ships were moving. They were spreading out in a pattern that looked strange. Most galactic fleets moved in tight formations, protecting each other with overlapping shields. The human ships were scattering. They were moving fast, faster than most military vessels. Some went high above the orbital plane. Some went low. Some stayed in the middle. What are they doing? General Korath asked. That formation makes no sense. They are exposing themselves from every angle. The Kraith thought the same thing. Zeshkor's voice came through again, laughing. Foolish primates. You come to die for insects you do not even know? So be it. Kraith fleet, destroy them. The Kraith ships moved forward in their traditional wall formation. 300 vessels, shields glowing, weapons charging. They looked unstoppable. They had broken armies with that formation. They had taken worlds. The human ships did not run. They did not even slow down. Then space lit up. The humans fired first. Not from 1 ship. Not from 10. From all 65 vessels at once. But they did not fire energy weapons like most galactic fleets. They fired solid projectiles. Metal slugs accelerated to incredible speeds by magnetic. Rails. Railguns. Weapons that most species considered primitive and inefficient except the humans. Fired them from distances that the Kraith thought were impossible. The projectiles crossed the space between the fleets in seconds. The Kraith shields were not at full power yet. They had not expected an attack so soon from so far away. 3 Kraith cruisers exploded, just like that, gone in flashes of fire and metal. By the ancestors, General Korath breathed. They hit them. From that distance, they actually hit them. The Kraith fleet scattered, trying to bring shields to full power. But the humans were already moving again. They did not stay still like proper military vessels. They danced, they spun. They moved like fighters, not capital ships. And they kept firing. More Kraith ships died. The Velkari command bunker watched in shock as the red markers on the display started disappearing. 5 gone, 7, 10. The humans had lost nothing yet. They were too fast, too unpredictable. The Kraith weapons could not track them properly. Get everyone underground now, Thelvis ordered. All civilians, all non-essential personnel. Get them into the deepest bunkers we have. Sir? Did you hear what the human admiral said? She said this would get loud. I think she meant it. The battle moved into orbit around the planet. The Kraith tried to regroup, to form their defensive wall again, but the humans would not let them. Human ships came from above, from below, from the sides. They attacked in small groups, hit hard, and moved away before the Kraith could respond. It was not the way galactic warfare was supposed to work. It was chaos, and the humans were winning. From his bunker, Thelvis watched the sky through external cameras. The night was gone. The darkness was replaced with red and orange lights. Explosions in orbit, weapons fire cutting through the atmosphere, pieces of burning ships falling like meteors. The Kraith had made his sky dark with their ships. Now the humans were making it burn. The Velkari people had a saying, "A sky on fire means the gods are angry." Looking at the crimson sky above his dying world, Thelvis thought maybe the gods were not angry. Maybe they had finally answered his prayers, just not the way he expected. He had asked for salvation, for rescue, for someone to make the Kraith leave. The humans did not come to make them leave. The humans came to make them die. Another message came from Admiral Kozlov. This one was longer. Prime Minister Thelvas, this is Admiral Kozlov. I need you to keep your people underground for the next 72 hours minimum. Do not let anyone surface. Do not send up any aircraft. Do not activate any anti-orbital weapons. We are going to clear the Kraith from your sky, but there will be debris. A lot of debris. Some of it will be on fire. Stay down, stay safe. We will let you know when it is over. Thelvas sent back a simple message. Thank you. We will comply. And Admiral, we did not expect this kind of help. The reply came quickly. I know, but it is the only kind we know how to give. The battle lasted all night and into the next day. The Velkari people huddled in their bunkers listening to the thunder from above. Some prayed. Some cried. Some just held each other and waited. The children asked questions that no one could answer. Why were the humans helping? What would happen next? Would they be safe? Thelvas did not know. He only knew that for the first time in 3 weeks he felt something other than despair. The humans had come. They were fighting. And from what the sensors showed, they were winning. War leader Zeshkor made one last broadcast on the second day. His voice was no longer confident. Human fleet, we offer terms. Withdraw and we will leave this system. We will mark it as protected. We will pay reparations. Admiral Kozlov's response was short. No, you would rather die? You are the ones dying. Count your ships, Kraith. Then count ours. You have lost 90 vessels. We have lost 3. And we are just getting started. The transmission ended. The battle continued. The sky stayed red. In the command bunker, General Korath turned to Thelvas. Prime Minister, what have we done? We asked for help, but what will the humans want in return? What will this cost us? Thelvas looked at the screen showing the burning sky. I do not know, General. But whatever it is, it has to be better than extinction. He hoped he was right. Sir, should we respond? Yes, yes.
Tell them we are grateful.
Tell them we will provide any support they need. Tell them how, sir. Another technician interrupted. The Kraith command ship is broadcasting. They are hailing the human fleet. Put it on speakers. The voice that came through was harsh and full of confidence. War leader Zeshkor of the Kraith Dominion. Unknown vessels, this is Kraith territory now. You are trespassing. Turn back or be destroyed. You have 1 standard hour to comply. Silence. The humans did not respond. They should negotiate, General Korath said. The Kraith have over 300 ships in this system. The humans cannot win this fight. But Thelvas remembered Ambassador Chen's questions. She had asked about Kraith positions, about their weapons, about their tactics. She had not asked if the Velkari would pay Earth back. She had not asked what Earth would gain. She had only asked how to hurt the enemy. Maybe, Thelvas said quietly. The humans did not come here to negotiate. On the display screens, the human ships were moving. They were spreading out in a pattern that looked strange. Most galactic fleets moved in tight formations, protecting each other with overlapping shields. The human ships were scattering. They were moving fast, faster than most military vessels. Some went high above the orbital plane. Some went low. Some stayed in the middle. What are they doing? General Korath asked. That formation makes no sense. They are exposing themselves from every angle. The Kraith thought the same thing. Zeshkor's voice came through again, laughing. Foolish primates. You come to die for insects you do not even know? So be it. Kraith fleet, destroy them. The Kraith ships moved forward in their traditional wall formation. 300 vessels, shields glowing, weapons charging. They looked unstoppable. They had broken armies with that formation. They had taken worlds. The human ships did not run. They did not even slow down. Then space lit up. The humans fired first. Not from one ship. Not from 10. From all 65 vessels at once. But they did not fire energy weapons like most galactic fleets. They fired solid projectiles. Metal slugs accelerated to incredible speeds by magnetic. Rails. Railguns. Weapons that most species considered primitive and inefficient except the humans. Fired them from distances that the Kraith thought were impossible. The projectiles crossed the space between the fleets in seconds. The Kraith shields were not at full power yet. They had not expected an attack so soon from so far away. 3 Kraith cruisers exploded, just like that, gone in flashes of fire and metal. By the ancestors, General Korath breathed. They hit them. From that distance, they actually hit them. The Kraith fleet scattered, trying to bring shields to full power, but the humans were already moving again. They did not stay still like proper military vessels. They danced, they spun. They moved like fighters, not capital ships. And they kept firing. More Kraith ships died. The Velkhari command bunker watched in shock as the red markers on the display started disappearing. 5 gone, 7, 10. The humans had lost nothing yet. They were too fast, too unpredictable. The Kraith weapons could not track them properly. Get everyone underground now, Thelvas ordered. All civilians, all non-essential personnel. Get them into the deepest bunkers we have. Sir? Did you hear what the human admiral said? She said this would get loud. I think she meant it. The battle moved into orbit around the planet. The Kraith tried to regroup, to form their defensive wall again, but the humans would not let them. Human ships came from above, from below, from the sides. They attacked in small groups, hit hard, and moved away before the Kraith could respond. It was not the way galactic warfare was supposed to work. It was chaos, and the humans were winning. From his bunker, Thelvas watched the sky through external cameras. The night was gone. The darkness was replaced with red and orange lights. Explosions in orbit, weapons fire cutting through the atmosphere, pieces of burning ships falling like meteors. The Kraith had made his sky dark with their ships. Now the humans were making it burn. The Velkhari people had a saying, "A sky on fire means the gods are angry." Looking at the crimson sky above his dying world, Thelvas thought maybe the gods were not angry. Maybe they had finally answered his prayers, just not the way he expected. He had asked for salvation, for rescue, for someone to make the Kraith leave. The humans did not come to make them leave. The humans came to make them die. Another message came from Admiral Kozlov. This one was longer. Prime Minister Thelvas, this is Admiral Kozlov. I need you to keep your people underground for the next 72 hours minimum. Do not let anyone surface. Do not send up any aircraft. Do not activate any anti-orbital weapons. We are going to clear the Kraith from your sky, but there will be debris. A lot of debris. Some of it will be on fire. Stay down, stay safe. We will let you know when it is over. Thelvas sent back a simple message. Thank you. We will comply. And Admiral, we did not expect this kind of help. The reply came quickly. I know, but it is the only kind we know how to give. The battle lasted all night and into the next day. The Velkhari people huddled in their bunkers listening to the thunder from above. Some prayed. Some cried. Some just held each other and waited. The children asked questions that no one could answer. Why were the humans helping? What would happen next? Would they be safe? Thelvas did not know. He only knew that for the first time in 3 weeks he felt something other than despair. The humans had come. They were fighting. And from what the sensors showed, they were winning. War leader Zeshkor made one last broadcast on the second day. His voice was no longer confident. Human fleet, we offer terms. Withdraw and we will leave this system. We will mark it as protected. We will pay reparations. Admiral Kozlov's response was short. No, you would rather die? You are the ones dying. Count your ships, Kraith. Then count ours. You have lost 90 vessels. We have lost 3. And we are just getting started. The transmission ended. The battle continued. The sky stayed red. In the command bunker, General Korath turned to Thelvas. Prime Minister, what have we done? We asked for help, but what will the humans want in return? What will this cost us? Thelvas looked at the screen showing the burning sky. I do not know, General. But whatever it is, it has to be better than extinction. He hoped he was right. The Velkhari had always imagined what first contact with a rescuer species would be like. In their stories and films, the heroes always arrived with medical ships painted white. They brought food, medicine, blankets. They evacuated the wounded. They negotiated peace with wise words and clever diplomacy. They saved people without firing a single shot. The human ships were not white. They were gray and black, covered in armor plating and weapon mounts. They did not broadcast messages of peace. They broadcast targeting coordinates to each other. And they had fired thousands of shots, millions probably. Prime Minister Thelvas stood in the command bunker watching the tactical display. It had been 36 hours since the humans arrived. The Kraith Dominion had come to his world with 327 ships. Now they had 214. The humans had arrived with 65 ships. Now they had 62, 3 human ships lost. 113 Kraith ships destroyed. I do not understand, General Korath said, staring at the numbers. The mathematics make no sense. The Kraith have better shields, stronger hulls, more ships. How are they losing? A young Velkari technician named Mira spoke up. She had been analyzing the battle data since it started. General, I think I know. The humans do not fight like anyone else. Look at this pattern. She brought up a recording from 2 hours ago. It showed a group of 5 Kraith destroyers moving in formation. Their shields were linked, making them stronger together. It was standard military doctrine across the galaxy. Safety and unity. Then 3 human ships appeared. They came from different directions at high speed. The first human ship fired at the Kraith formation, hitting the shields. The Kraith ships turned to face the threat, bringing their weapons to bear. But that was what the humans wanted. While the Kraith focused on the first attacker, the second human ship came from above and fired at the rear Kraith vessel. The shields were weaker at the back because all the power was facing the first threat. The rear Kraith destroyer exploded. The formation broke. The surviving Kraith ships tried to reposition, but the third human ship was already there, firing at another weak point. 2 more Kraith ships died before they could even turn around. The last 2 Kraith destroyers ran, shields failing, engines damaged. The 3 human ships regrouped and moved to find another target. The whole attack lasted 90 seconds. They hunt like pack predators, Mira said quietly, like the Kravix wolves from the northern continent. One draws attention, others strike from behind. They do not fight with honor or formation. They fight to kill. General Korath looked uncomfortable. That is effective, but also terrifying. Thelvis understood his feeling. The Velkari had called for help, but watching the humans work, he was not sure help was the right word anymore. This was not rescue. This was extermination. The humans were not trying to drive the Kraith away. They were trying to destroy them completely. A new message came through from the human fleet. Prime Minister Thelvis, this is Admiral Kozlov. We need to talk. Can you receive a visual transmission? Thelvis looked at himself. His robes were dirty. He had not slept in 2 days. His fur was matted and unkempt. But a human admiral wanted to speak with him. Yes, Admiral. I can receive. The screen flickered and a face appeared. Admiral Sarah Kozlov was a human female with short gray hair and lines around her eyes that spoke of many years. She wore a dark blue uniform with several medals on her chest. Behind her, Thelvis could see the bridge of her ship. Human crew members moved efficiently between stations. Everything looked clean, organized, professional. Prime Minister, Admiral Kozlov said. Her voice was firm but not unkind. I wanted to check on your status. Are your people safe? Yes, Admiral. We are underground as you instructed. The bunkers are crowded but secure. Good. I need you to stay down there for at least another day, maybe 2. The Kraith are sending reinforcements. We detected their faster-than-light signatures 3 hours ago. They will arrive soon. Thelvis felt his heart sink. More Kraith? How many? Looks like another 150 ships. Maybe more. Admiral, you should retreat. You have done more than enough. You have fought bravely, but against those numbers... He could not finish the sentence. Admiral Kozlov smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. Prime Minister, we are not retreating. We are exactly where we want to be. I do not understand. The Kraith think they are coming to rescue their invasion force. They think we are just 65 ships fighting alone. They do not know that we have been transmitting our position to Earth since we arrived. They do not know that we brought friends. Friends? 20 more human battle groups dropped out of FTL 10 minutes ago at the system's outer edge. That is another 230 ships. When the Kraith reinforcements arrive, we are going to catch them between our fleet and the newcomers. Admiral Kozlov leaned forward. Prime Minister, by this time tomorrow there will not be a single Kraith ship left in your system. I promise you that. Thelvis did not know what to say. 230 more ships? The humans had sent almost their entire military to save a species they barely knew. Why? He finally asked. Why are you doing this? Admiral Kozlov's expression changed. For a moment she looked sad. Because no one helped us when we needed it. A long time ago, when humans were just learning to reach other stars, we found ruins on a dead planet, ruins of a civilization that was destroyed by conquerors. We found their last messages. They had called for help. No one came. She paused. We decided that day that if we ever had the power to help someone, we would. Even if it was hard. Even if it was dangerous, even if it cost us everything. I see, Thelva said softly. Thank you, Admiral. Thank us when it is over. For now, keep your people safe. Kozlov out. The screen went dark. General Korath looked at Thelvas. Sir, what kind of species builds their entire military philosophy around helping strangers? A strange one, General. A very strange one. 6 hours later, the Kraith reinforcements arrived. The Velkari sensors detected them immediately. 163 ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel near the orbit of the fourth planet. They moved in a confident formation, coming to help their besieged comrades. They did not know the trap waiting for them. Admiral Kozlov had positioned her fleet between the planet and the incoming Kraith. The newcomers would see the ongoing battle and think they just needed to attack the human rear. A simple pincer movement, basic tactics. But when the Kraith reinforcements got closer, the other 230 human ships appeared behind them. They had been hiding in the sensor shadow of the system's gas giant, waiting. Now they lit up their engines and weapons, surrounding the Kraith from behind. The Kraith were caught in between. Admiral Kozlov's fleet in front. The new human fleet behind. Nowhere to run. Kraith vessels, Admiral Kozlov broadcasted on all frequencies. You are surrounded. Power down your weapons and shields. Surrender and you will be treated according to the laws of war. Fight and you will die. You have 60 seconds to decide. War leader Zeshkor responded immediately. Humans, you fight without honor. You use tricks and deception like cowards. The Kraith Dominion does not surrender to primitives. 50 seconds, Admiral Kozlov said calmly. You are outnumbered. Even with your reinforcements, we still have more ships. 40 seconds, you cannot win. We are warriors. We have conquered 17 worlds. 30 seconds, there was a pause. Then Zeshkor spoke again, his voice lower, more careful. What terms do you offer? All Kraith personnel will be taken prisoner. Your ships will be seized or destroyed. You will provide full intelligence on your military operations. You will stand trial for war crimes against the Velkari people. Those are the terms. 20 seconds. And if we refuse? Then we fight. But know this, war leader. We have studied your tactics. We have analyzed your weapons. We have run the simulations. If this battle happens, 94% of your ships will be destroyed in the first 15 minutes. The rest will not survive the hour. Your people came here to conquer. They will die here instead. 10 seconds, the silence stretched. On the command bunker screens, Thelvas watched the Kraith fleet. They were not moving, not attacking, just sitting there while the seconds counted down. 5 seconds, wait. Zeshkor's voice cracked. We accept your terms. All ships power down weapons and shields immediately. Any vessel that fails to comply will be destroyed. Admiral Kozlov out. One by one, the Kraith ships went dark. Their shields dropped. Their weapons powered down. 377 warships of the Kraith Dominion, surrendering to a human fleet they outnumbered. General Korath stared at the display in disbelief. They surrendered. The Kraith actually surrendered. They had no choice, Mira said. The humans would have killed them all. Thelvas thought about that. The humans had given the Kraith a choice, surrender or die. It was not a good choice, but it was more than the Kraith had given the Velkari. The Kraith had simply attacked, killed, destroyed. They had not offered terms. The humans were warriors. That was clear now. They were brutal, efficient, and utterly ruthless when fighting, but they still followed rules. They still offered mercy. They were not monsters even though they could kill like monsters. Sir, a technician called. We are receiving another transmission from Admiral Kozlov. Thelvas straightened his robes. Put it through. The Admiral appeared again. She looked tired but satisfied. Prime Minister, the Kraith invasion force has surrendered. My Marines are going to start landing on the surface to secure the Kraith ground troops. We need you to keep your people in the bunkers for another 12 hours while we clear the area. There will be some noise. Do not be alarmed. Admiral, your Marines are coming down. Will there be fighting? Probably. The Kraith ground commander has not responded to surrender orders yet. We are going in to make sure he does not have a chance to hurt your people. How many Marines are you sending? 20,000 in the first wave. Another 30,000 standing by if needed. Thelvas blinked all four eyes. 50,000 soldiers? The Kraith only have 15,000 troops on the ground. Admiral Kozlov smiled that dangerous smile again. We know, we like to be thorough. Kozlov out. The screen went dark again. Thorough, General Korath repeated. She sends 3 soldiers for every enemy and calls it thorough. 12 hours later, Thelvas received permission to bring his people to the surface. He emerged from the bunker with his cabinet and military advisors. The sky was still red, but different now, not from weapons fire, from the sunrise hitting the dust and smoke in the upper atmosphere. The capital city was damaged but standing. The Kraith had occupied it but not destroyed it. Now human soldiers moved through the streets in groups of 4, their weapons ready, their eyes scanning everywhere. They wore armor that made them look bigger than they were. Their faces were covered by helmets with dark visors. A group of human Marines saw Thelvas and approached. One of them, a female with sergeant stripes on her armor, removed her helmet. She had dark skin and kind eyes. "Prime Minister Thelvas?" she asked in accented but understandable Velkhari language. "Yes, I am he. Sergeant Amara Washington, Earth Defense Force Marines. My squad is assigned to provide security for your government. The city is secure. All Kraith ground forces have been neutralized." "Neutralized?" Thelvas asked carefully. "Dead or captured, sir." "Mostly captured. They surrendered pretty quick once they realized we were serious." "I see. And your casualties?" 43 wounded. 7 killed in action." Sergeant Washington's expression hardened. "They booby-trapped a school. Said there were Velkhari children inside. My lieutenant went in first to check. The building exploded." She paused. "We stopped being gentle after that." Thelvas felt sick. The Kraith had used children as bait. "I am sorry for your loss, Sergeant." "Thank you, sir. For what it is worth, we got the guy who did it. He will face trial for war crimes." She looked around at the damaged city. "Sir, we have medical supplies, food, water, engineering equipment. Admiral Kozlov wants to know what you need most." "We need everything," Thelvas admitted. "But medical supplies first. We have many wounded." "Understood. I will pass that along. Also, sir, you should know. The Admiral is staying in orbit until we are sure your world is safe. The whole fleet is staying. We are not leaving until you are back on your feet." General Korath stepped forward. "How long will that take?" Sergeant Washington shrugged. "As long as necessary, General. Could be weeks. Could be months. We are here until the job is done." That night, Thelvas broadcast a message to his people. He told them the war was over. He told them the Kraith were gone. He told them that humans, strange and violent humans, had saved them. He did not tell them what he was thinking. That the Velkhari had asked for aid, for help, for salvation. They had imagined rescue ships and peaceful negotiators. They had hoped for someone to make the bad people go away with words and wisdom. Instead, they got warriors. They got humans who arrived in warships, who fought with a fury the galaxy had never seen, who killed the Kraith by the hundreds without hesitation or mercy. The Velkhari had asked for aid. The humans gave it, just not the way anyone expected. The sky burned. For 3 days and nights, the sky above the Velkhari homeworld burned with crimson light. Not the natural red of sunset, but the angry red of war. Explosions in orbit, weapons cutting through the atmosphere, ships breaking apart and falling like dying stars. The Velkhari people had lived for 10,000 years under peaceful skies. Now they lived under fire. In the deepest bunker beneath the capital city, young Mira sat at her workstation and watched the war happen through sensors and cameras. She was a technician, not a soldier. Before the invasion, she had studied star patterns and mapped distant nebulas. Now she tracked weapon signatures and counted dead ships. The war had changed everyone. On her main screen, she watched the orbital battle. The humans fought like nothing she had ever studied in military history courses. Every species in the galaxy had rules for space combat. You formed defensive walls. You matched shield strength. You engaged at optimal ranges where your weapons were most effective. You protected your supply lines. You retreated when losses became unacceptable. The humans ignored every rule. Their ships moved constantly, never staying still long enough to be targeted properly. They split into small groups of 3 or 4 vessels, attacked from multiple angles, then reformed in different combinations. They used the planet's gravity well to slingshot around at speeds that should have crushed their crews. They fired their primitive railguns from distances most species considered wasteful, yet somehow hit their targets with frightening accuracy. And they never, ever stopped attacking. A Kraith battleship appeared on Mira's screen. It was one of their command vessels, over 2 kilometers long, covered in heavy armor and shield generators. 50 Kraith fighters circled it like protective insects. The battleship was moving toward one of the human carriers, preparing to launch a missile barrage. 3 human frigates appeared above the battleship. They had been hiding in the planet's shadow, waiting. The frigates were small compared to the Crate vessel, maybe a tenth its size. But they did not hesitate. The first frigate fired a spread of railgun rounds at the fighter screen. The metal projectiles moved so fast they were just streaks of light. 6 Crate fighters exploded instantly. The others scattered, formation broken. The second frigate launched something Mira had never seen before. Missiles, but not normal ones. These were small, fast, and seemed to think for themselves. Smart missiles. They curved around the battleship's point defense fire, dodged the desperate countermeasures, and slammed into the shield generators. 1, 2, 5, 8 impacts. The shields flickered and failed. The third frigate had been charging its main gun. Now it fired. A single railgun round, bigger than the others, accelerated to incredible speed. It punched through the battleship's armor like paper. The ship did not explode dramatically. It just died. All lights went out. The engines stopped. 2 kilometers of metal and machinery became a tomb floating in space. The 3 human frigates regrouped and moved away, already looking for their next target. The whole attack lasted 45 seconds. How? General Korath asked, watching the same footage. He stood behind Mira, his hands gripping the back of her chair. How do they coordinate so perfectly? How do they know where to strike? How do they move so fast? Mira pulled up another data stream. I have been analyzing their communication patterns, General. The humans use something called tactical networks. Every ship is connected to every other ship, sharing data in real time. They see what each other sees. They know where each other is. They think like one organism with many bodies. That should not be possible. The processing power required, the communication bandwidth, the coordination algorithms. General Korath trailed off. We have never been able to make that work. No one has. The humans did, Mira said simply, and it makes them almost impossible to fight traditionally. Prime Minister Thelvas joined them at the workstation. He had not slept in 4 days. His eyes were red and his hands shook slightly. But he needed to see. He needed to understand what was happening to his world. Show me the ground situation, he ordered. Mira switched displays. The view changed to surface cameras placed around the capital city. Human drop pods were falling from orbit like metal rain. Each pod carried 4 Marines in full combat armor. The pods did not land gently. They crashed into the ground at speeds that should have killed everyone inside. But hatches blew open and humans emerged, weapons ready, already moving toward their objectives. The Kraith ground forces tried to fight back. They had fortified positions in several major buildings. They had heavy weapons and energy barriers. They had 15,000 experienced soldiers who had conquered worlds before. The humans did not care. Mira watched as a squad of human Marines approached a Kraith strongpoint. The building was a former Velkari government office now converted into a fortress. Kraith soldiers fired from windows and rooftops. Energy weapons lit up the street. Any normal attack would have been suicide. The humans did not attack normally. One Marine knelt and placed a small device on the ground. A drone. It flew up and scanned the building, mapping every room, every enemy position, every weak point. The data was shared instantly with the whole squad. Now they knew exactly where every Kraith soldier was hiding. 2 Marines fired grenades through specific windows. Not regular grenades. These were flashbangs designed to blind and deafen. The Kraith inside screamed. While they were disoriented, another Marine used a rocket launcher to blow a hole in the side of the building, not the front where the Kraith expected. The side wall on the 3rd floor. The squad entered through the hole before the dust settled. Mira heard gunfire, shouting. More explosions. It lasted less than 2 minutes. Then silence. The Marines emerged, dragging captured Kraith soldiers. The strong point was taken. They make it look easy, General Korath whispered. Like they have done this 1,000,000 times before. Maybe they have, Thelvas said. Remember, humans fought each other for thousands of years before they reached the stars. They have been perfecting war since they learned to throw rocks. Mira pulled up statistics. Sir, the human Marines have secured 83% of the capital city. Kraith resistance is collapsing, but... She hesitated, but what? There is an anomaly. A Kraith bunker complex near the Eastern Industrial District. The Marines surrounded it 6 hours ago and called for surrender. The Kraith commander refused. The humans have not attacked yet. Why not? General Korath asked. If they can take fortified buildings in minutes, why wait? I do not know, General. The human commander on site is requesting communication with you, Prime Minister. Thelva straightened up. Put them through. A human face appeared on the screen. A male with a hard expression and a scar across his jaw. Prime Minister Thelvas, I am Colonel Marcus Stone, commanding the ground operation. We have a situation I need your advice on. I am listening, Colonel. The Kraith bunker in the Eastern District. Our intelligence says they are holding Velkhari civilians hostage. Maybe 200 people. The Kraith commander says if we attack, he will kill them all. Colonel Stone's expression darkened. I need to know how you want us to proceed. Thelvas felt cold. 200 of his people. Can you rescue them? Yes, but not without risk. The bunker has multiple levels and the hostages are scattered through different rooms. If we go in hard, some might die in the crossfire. If we wait and negotiate, the Kraith might kill them anyway. The colonel leaned closer to his camera. Sir, I will not lie to you. This is going to be ugly no matter what we do, but we have trained for hostage rescue. We have specialists. We have equipment. If you give the order, we will get your people out. The Galactic Council met in emergency session exactly 1 week after the Battle of Velkhar. The council chamber was a massive circular room on the neutral station, orbiting the dead world of Terminus. Representatives from 43 species sat in their designated seats, each one higher than the last, creating a spiral that rose toward the domed ceiling. It was designed to make everyone feel equal while reminding them of the hierarchy that actually existed. Ambassador Chen sat in the human seat, which was near the bottom of the spiral. Humans were new members. They had no power here, no influence, or at least that was what everyone thought before the battle. Chancellor Vex of the Thaxian Empire called the session to order. He was a tall, crystalline being who spoke through vibrations rather than words. A translator made his voice audible to everyone. We are here to discuss the human actions at Velkhar, Chancellor Vex said, his tone cold and formal. The matter is serious. The precedent is dangerous. We must address it immediately. Ambassador Chen stood up. She was a small woman by human standards, but she had learned to project confidence in rooms much larger than this. Chancellor, if I may speak. You will have your chance, Ambassador. First, we will hear testimony from affected parties. Chancellor Vex gestured to one of the upper seats. Representative Thelvas of the Velkhari, please share your account. Prime Minister Thelvas stood. He had been given a seat on the council now. Apparently being at the center of a major incident qualified a species for emergency membership. He looked different from the last time Chen had seen him. Healthier, less afraid, but also harder somehow. War changed people. Thank you, Chancellor, Thelvas said. 1 month ago, my world was invaded by the Kraith Dominion. We called for help from this council. We were refused. The council decided the cost of intervention was too high. His 4 eyes swept across the chamber. Then humanity came. They did not ask permission. They did not debate costs. They simply came and fought. 327 Kraith ships destroyed. 15,000 ground troops defeated. My people saved from extinction. He paused. I am here today because humans did what this council would not do. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some approving. Many disapproving. Chancellor Vex raised a crystalline hand for silence. No one disputes that the Velkhari were saved. But the methods concern us. Ambassador Chen, humanity deployed nearly its entire military fleet without consulting this council. You attacked a sovereign species without declaration of war. You used excessive force. You showed no restraint. These actions violate multiple galactic conventions. Chen stood again. Chancellor, which convention says we should let innocent people die? Which rule says we must watch genocide happen and do nothing? The rules that prevent chaos. The voice came from Representative Quor of the Quorali Federation. He was a floating jellyfish-like being in a tank of blue liquid. If every species acts independently, ignoring council authority, we will return to the dark ages of constant warfare. We are already in an age of warfare, Chen replied. The Kraith have conquered 17 worlds in 10 years. Where was the council? Where were the conventions? Where were the rules when they were burning Velkhari cities? The Kraith situation is being handled through diplomatic channels, Quor insisted. Diplomatic channels, Chen repeated slowly. 17 dead civilizations. How many more will die while you negotiate? Another representative stood. This was Merchant Prince Zolax of the Merchants Guild. He was a round, slug-like creature covered in expensive jewelry. The economic disruption alone is staggering. Humanity destroyed billions of credits worth of Kraith military assets. Who will compensate them? Who will pay for the loss? Chen stared at him. You want someone to pay the Kraith for their destroyed war machines? The same machines they used to kill millions of Velkari? It is a matter of law and precedent, Zolak said. Destruction of property requires compensation. Then send them the bill, Chen said coldly. Earth will pay 1 credit for every Velkari life the Kraith would have murdered. We will send them a receipt for our expenses. I'm sure they will find the balance interesting. The chamber erupted in arguments. Species shouting at each other. Translators struggling to keep up. Chancellor Vex had to call for order 3 times before everyone settled down. This is exactly what I feared, Vex said. Humanity's actions have destabilized the carefully maintained balance of power. You have shown that military force can solve problems faster than diplomacy. You have given other species ideas. Already we have received requests from 12 different civilizations asking for human military assistance against various threats. Then maybe the balance was wrong, Chen said. She was angry now, tired of dancing around the truth. You call it stability. I call it cowardice. You created a system where the strong prey on the weak and everyone pretends not to notice, because intervention is too expensive or too dangerous or too politically complicated. Well, humanity notices, and we will not stand by. You cannot be the galaxy's police force, Core said. You do not have the authority. You do not have the resources. We have the will, Chen said. That is more than this council has shown. A new voice entered the discussion. Representative Kresh of the Kraith Dominion stood in his seat. He was a massive warrior, over 2 meters tall, covered in red scales and battle scars. His species did not usually attend council sessions. They preferred to communicate through force. But today he was here. The humans have committed acts of war against the Kraith Dominion, Kresh said, his voice a low growl. We demand reparations. We demand the surrender of Fleet Admiral Kozlov for trial. We demand the return of our captured soldiers. Chen laughed. She actually laughed in the middle of the Galactic Council. You demand? You invaded a peaceful world, killed millions, and now you demand things from us? We followed the old ways, Kresh said. The strong take from the weak. This is the law of nature. Then by your own logic we are stronger than you, Chen replied. We took your fleet. We took your soldiers. We took your pride. By the law you just cited, they belong to us now. Kresh's face twisted in rage. Humans are primitives. You have no honor. You fight like cowards from hiding with tricks and deception. We fight to win, Chen said simply. If you wanted honor, you should have chosen a different profession. War is not a game. It is not a sport. It is survival. And humanity is very good at surviving. Chancellor Vex tried to restore order, but the chamber was chaos now. Species were choosing sides. Some supported humanity's actions, others condemned them. The council was splitting down the middle. Enough! Vex's voice cut through the noise. We will vote. The question before us, should humanity face sanctions for their unauthorized military action at Velkar? Those in favor? 23 hands, appendages, and various other body parts rose into the air. Those opposed? 20 hands rose. Thelvas voted with the humans. So did a handful of smaller species who had been victims of aggression themselves. The vote is 23 to 20. The motion passes. Humanity will face economic sanctions and military restrictions for a period of No. Everyone turned to look at Ambassador Chen. She had not sat down. She stood straight, her hands clasped behind her back, her face calm. I am sorry, Ambassador, but the vote has been taken, Vex said. The council has decided. The council can decide whatever it wants, Chen said. But Earth will not comply. We will not accept sanctions for saving lives. We will not apologize for doing what was right. And we will not stop defending those who cannot defend themselves. The chamber fell silent. No species had ever openly defied a council vote before. It was unthinkable. If you refuse to comply, you will be expelled from the council, Vex warned. Chen smiled. Then we will leave. But know this, Chancellor. When the next species calls for help, and this council debates and delays and ultimately does nothing, humanity will still answer. We will go where we are needed. We will fight those who prey on the weak, with or without your permission, with or without your approval. She looked around the chamber. You can join us or you can watch, but you cannot stop us." She walked toward the exit. As she reached the door, Prime Minister Thelva stood up. "If humanity is expelled, then the Velkhari leave as well," he announced. "We will not remain in a council that punishes our saviors." Another representative stood. This was from the Norath collective, a small species that Chen did not know well. The Norath stand with Earth, then another, and another. 5 species in total, all of them smaller civilizations, all of them threatened by larger powers. They walked out behind Ambassador Chen. Chancellor Vex watched them go. They have made their choice. The council will continue without them. But as the session ended and representatives filed out, everyone knew something had changed. The Galactic Council had ruled the galaxy for 2,000 years through careful diplomacy and maintained balance. Now, for the first time, species were choosing to leave, choosing to follow a different path. The path of the humans. Back on Earth, the news of the council vote spread quickly. Some people were angry about the sanctions, some were worried about isolation, but most people were proud. Their fleet had saved a species from extinction. Their Marines had liberated an occupied world. Their ambassador had stood up to the entire galaxy. Admiral Sarah Kozlov sat in her office at Earth Defense Command, reading reports from Velkhar. The rebuilding was going well. The Velkhari were fast learners. Human engineers had taught them how to build better defenses, better sensors, better ships. In another year, the Velkhari would be able to defend themselves. Her communicator beeped. A secure message from Ambassador Chen. "Sarah, we have a situation. The Norath Collective just sent a distress call. The Kraith Dominion is moving a fleet toward their space. Looks like retaliation for them siding with us at the council. The Norath have maybe 40 ships. The Kraith are sending 300. The Norath are asking for our help." Kozlov sat back in her chair. She was tired. Her fleet needed maintenance. Her crews needed rest. Earth's resources were stretched thin from the Velkhar operation. The Council would use any new military action as further evidence against humanity. She thought about the Norath, a peaceful species of aquatic beings, artists and philosophers. They had no chance against the Kraith. They would be slaughtered. She typed her response. "How fast can we get a fleet there?" Chen's reply was immediate. "Battle Group 7 can reach Norath space in 4 days. But Sarah, if we do this, we are committing to a path. We will become what everyone fears, the galaxy's enforcer. This will never end. There will always be another species needing help, always another war to fight." Kozlov typed, "I know. Send Battle Group 7. And Chen? Start recruiting allies. We are going to need them." She ended the transmission and looked at the star map on her wall. The galaxy was huge, full of species both good and evil, full of wars and injustices and suffering. The Galactic Council wanted to maintain balance. They wanted peace through inaction. Humanity wanted peace through justice. Even if they had to fight for it, Admiral Kozlov activated the fleet-wide channel. "All ships, this is Admiral Kozlov. Begin preparations for deployment. We have new orders. Battle Group 7 will depart for Norath space in 6 hours. Battle Groups 1 through 4 will maintain defensive positions around Velkhar and Earth. Battle Groups 5, 6, 8, and 9 will remain on standby for rapid deployment." She paused, thinking about the crews, young men and women who signed up to defend Earth. Now they would be defending the galaxy. It was not what they expected, but it was what they would do. "I know you are tired," she continued. "I know you want to go home. I know this is not the easy path, but out there right now peaceful people are facing extinction. They are calling for help, and we are the only ones who will answer." She took a breath. "This is who we are. This is what we do. Not because we want glory or power, not because we seek war, but because someone has to stand against the darkness. Someone has to protect the innocent. Someone has to show the galaxy that evil will not go unopposed." She ended the transmission and looked out her window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Kraith fleet was moving toward Norath space. In 4 days, they would find humans waiting for them, and the galaxy would learn again what it meant to face humanity in battle. 3 days later, News reached the Galactic Council. The Kraith fleet had reached Norath space and found 65 human warships in orbit around the Norath homeworld. The Krath, remembering what happened at Velkar, turned around and left without firing a shot. Chancellor Vex called an emergency session. The humans are establishing a pattern of unauthorized military intervention. This cannot continue. But, in the back of the chamber, smaller species were whispering to each other, sharing communication codes, making plans. If the Galactic Council would not protect them, they would find someone who would. They would find the humans, and the humans would answer. Because that was what heroes did, even when no one asked them to be heroes. Even when no one wanted them to be heroes. Even when being a hero meant standing alone against the galaxy. Ambassador Chen sat in her quarters after the latest council session and recorded a message to send home to Earth. To the people of Earth, today we were sanctioned by the Galactic Council. We were told our actions were illegal, improper, and dangerous. We were punished for saving lives. And I could not be more proud. She smiled. For thousands of years, we wondered if we were alone in the universe. When we finally found others, we discovered something terrible. We discovered that cruelty and injustice exist everywhere, that the strong prey on the weak across all stars. But we also discovered something wonderful. We discovered that we have the power to make a difference, to be the shield for those who have none, to be the sword against those who show no mercy. She looked directly into the camera. The road ahead will be hard. We will make enemies. We will face opposition. We will be called warmongers and imperialists and worse. But we will also save lives. We will stop genocides. We will give hope to the hopeless. She paused. History will judge whether we were right or wrong. But those we save will live to see that history. And that is worth any price. She ended the recording and sent it. Then, she began drafting the foundation documents for something new, something the galaxy had never seen before. A coalition of species united not by politics or trade, but by a simple principle: that the innocent deserved protection, that justice was worth fighting for, that standing by while others suffered was not peace, but cowardice. She called it the Crimson Alliance, after the sky that burned when humanity came to save the Velkari. After the moment when everything changed. 6 months passed since the Battle of Velkar. 6 months since humanity announced to the galaxy that they would not stand by and watch innocents die. 6 months since everything changed. The Crimson Alliance now had 23 member species. Not large empires or powerful civilizations. These were the small ones, the forgotten ones. The species that lived in fear of larger predators. The Velkari were founding members, of course. So were the Norath Collective. Others joined quickly. The Polari, the Shen, the Varth, the Quellan. Species that no one had heard of because they were too busy trying to survive to make noise on the galactic stage. Each member species contributed what they could. The Polari had advanced medical technology. The Shen were master craftsmen who could build anything. The Varth had the best sensors in the galaxy. The Quellan understood quantum communications better than anyone. Together, they were not just refugees seeking protection. They were partners. Allies, friends. But everyone knew the truth. Humanity was the sword. Without human warships, the alliance was just words and hope. With human warships, it was a force that even the great empires had to respect. Admiral Sarah Kozlov stood on the quay bridge of her flagship, now called the Defender of Peace. A dramatic name, but the Velkari had insisted. They said it represented what humanity had become. She was looking at the tactical display showing the current positions of all human battle groups. 30% of Earth's fleet was stationed at Velkar, helping defend their first ally. Another 20% protected Norath space. The remaining 50% rotated between Earth, patrol routes, and rapid response positions. It was sustainable, but barely. Earth needed more ships, more crews, more resources. Admiral, her communications officer called. We are receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council. Chancellor Vex wants to speak with you directly. Kozlov raised an eyebrow. The Chancellor had not spoken to any human representative since the Council vote 6 months ago. Put him through. The screen flickered and Chancellor Vex's crystalline form appeared. He looked the same as always, unreadable and cold. Admiral Kozlov, thank you for taking my call. Chancellor, this is unexpected. Indeed. I will be direct, Admiral. The Council has been monitoring your Crimson Alliance with concern. You have gathered 23 species under human military protection. You conduct operations across multiple sectors without Council oversight. You have become a state within the state. We have become what we needed to be, Kozlov replied. Protection for those who have none. Yes, I know your rhetoric. Vex paused. But that is not why I called. I have information you need to hear. The Kraith Dominion is gathering its strength. They have pulled back from their forward positions. They have stopped all expansion operations. They are building new ships and training new warriors. Our intelligence suggests they are preparing for a major offensive. Kozlov felt a chill. Against who? Against you, Admiral. Against Earth. Against the Crimson Alliance. The Kraith see you as their primary threat now. They want revenge for Velkar. They want to prove that their way is superior to yours. Vex leaned forward slightly. They are gathering a fleet of over 1,500 ships, the largest military force assembled in 2 centuries. And they plan to use it to destroy Earth. 1,500 ships. Kozlov kept her face calm, but her mind was racing. Earth's entire fleet was maybe 400 ships. Even with the Crimson Alliance members adding their vessels, they could field maybe 500 total. Against 1,500 Kraith warships, those were terrible odds. When? She asked. 3 months. Maybe 4. They are still building. Vex paused again. Admiral, the Council wants to offer you a deal. Dissolve the Crimson Alliance. Stop your unauthorized military operations. Return to Council authority. If you do this, we will negotiate with the Kraith. We will prevent the war. By throwing the Velkari and Norath back to the wolves? Kozlov asked. By abandoning everyone who trusted us? By preserving Earth from annihilation? Vex said. Admiral, be realistic. You cannot win against those numbers. Humanity has shown remarkable skill and courage, but there are limits. 1,500 ships will overwhelm you. Earth will burn. Your people will die. Is your pride worth that? Kozlov looked at him for a long moment. Chancellor, do you know why humans are good at war? I assume you will tell me. Because we have been fighting since before we could speak. Our history is written in blood. Every century, every decade, sometimes every year, humans found new reasons to kill each other. We perfected weapons. We studied tactics. We learned that survival sometimes means doing the impossible. She smiled without humor. But you know what we also learned? We learned that some things are worth dying for. That standing for what is right matters more than survival. That heroes are not people who never feel fear. Heroes are people who feel fear and fight anyway. Inspiring speech, Admiral. It will make a fine epitaph on your tomb. Maybe, Kozlov admitted. Or maybe we will surprise you again. Either way, Earth will not abandon the Crimson Alliance. Tell the Kraith they can come. We will be waiting. Vex stared at her through the screen. You are making a mistake, Admiral. A fatal one. Perhaps. But it will be our mistake to make. Kozlov out. She ended the transmission and looked at her bridge crew. They had heard everything. Their faces showed concern but not fear, not panic. They were professionals. They would do their duty. Get me Ambassador Chen, Kozlov ordered, and start preparing contingency plans. If the Kraith want a war, we will give them one they will never forget. Ambassador Chen arrived at Earth Defense Command 12 hours later. She had been on the Velkari homeworld, working on trade agreements and cultural exchange programs. Now she sat across from Admiral Kozlov in a secure conference room. 1,500 ships, Chen said, shaking her head. That is more than we can handle. I know. The Council will not help us. The great empires will not intervene. They are probably happy to let the Kraith and humans destroy each other. It solves 2 problems for them. I know. Sarah, we might actually lose this one. Earth could fall. Kozlov nodded slowly. I know. But what is the alternative? Abandon the alliance? Let the Kraith know that if they gather enough force, we will back down? What happens the next time someone needs help? We will have proven that our word means nothing, that our protection is conditional. Chen was quiet for a moment. So we fight? We fight. Then we need allies. Real ones. The Crimson Alliance members cannot provide enough ships. Chen pulled up a holographic display. But I have been talking to some of the neutral species, the ones who have not sided with the Council or with us. They are nervous about the Kraith buildup. Some of them might be convinced to help. Which ones? The Cathara Union. They have 200 ships and they hate the Kraith. The Kraith raided their border colonies 10 years ago. Chen highlighted another region. The Telzon Commonwealth. They are traders, not warriors, but they have resources. Rare metals, advanced electronics, ship components. If they supply us, we can build faster. Will they help? Maybe, if we give them something in return. Security guarantees, trade agreements, protection from the Kraith. Kozlov leaned back. So we need to be politicians and warriors at the same time. Welcome to the job, Chen said with a tired smile. Over the next 2 months, Chen worked diplomatic miracles. She traveled to 12 different species, making arguments, offering deals, building relationships. Some rejected her outright. Some wanted to wait and see, but some agreed to help. The Cathara Union joined the Crimson Alliance, bringing 180 ships and experienced crews. The Telzon Commonwealth became an economic partner, supplying resources in exchange for security guarantees. 3 smaller species offered limited support. Every little bit helped. Meanwhile, Earth's shipyards worked around the clock. New vessels were built using Telzon materials and Velkari design improvements. Human engineering combined with alien technology to create ships that were faster, stronger, better than before. The fleet grew from 400 ships to 520. Combined with Crimson Alliance member fleets, humanity could field 740 ships. Still outnumbered 2-to-1 by the Kraith, but better than before, Admiral Kozlov reorganized her fleet structure. She studied the Kraith tactics, looking for weaknesses. She ran simulations with her best commanders. She prepared traps and contingencies. She did everything possible to turn terrible odds into survivable ones, and she waited. The Kraith came on schedule. Their fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of human space, 1,500 ships strong. War leader Zarek, who had replaced the dead Zeshkor, broadcasted a message to all of human territory. Humans, you humiliated the Kraith Dominion at Velkar. You destroyed our ships and imprisoned our warriors. You showed the galaxy that the Kraith way was weak. Now we will show the galaxy the truth. We will destroy your homeworld. We will scatter your alliance. We will prove that strength always triumphs over tricks and deception. Zarek's voice was full of confidence. Surrender now and we will be merciful. Fight and you will be exterminated. Admiral Kozlov broadcasted her response on the same frequencies. War leader Zarek. I am Fleet Admiral Sarah Kozlov of Earth Defense Force. You came to our space with 1,500 ships because you learned at Velkar that numbers matter. That is good. You are learning. But you still do not understand the most important lesson. She paused. You cannot win by just having more ships. You have to know how to use them. Come and find out what that means. Kozlov out. The Kraith fleet moved forward in their traditional formation, a massive wall of ships, shields linked, weapons charged. They looked unstoppable. 1,500 vessels moving as one toward Earth and its allies. But Kozlov was not at Earth. Her fleet was not waiting in orbit like a good defender should. Instead, she had split her forces into 30 separate battle groups, each containing 25 ships. They were scattered throughout human space, hiding in asteroid fields, behind moons, in the shadows of gas giants. The Kraith expected a defensive battle, a stand at Earth where humanity would try to protect their homeworld. Instead, they found nothing. Just empty space and silent monitoring stations. Where are they? Zarek demanded, staring at his tactical displays. Where are the humans? His answer came from behind. 10 human battle groups dropped out of faster-than-light travel behind the Kraith fleet. 250 ships appearing from nowhere, weapons already firing. They hit the Kraith rearguard hard, destroying 30 ships in the first 60 seconds. The Kraith tried to turn around to bring their full force to bear. But the human ships scattered before the Kraith could respond, jumping back into faster-than-light travel and disappearing. Cowards, Zarek roared. They run from a real fight. But it was not cowardice. It was strategy. Over the next 3 days, human battle groups appeared randomly throughout the battlefield. They attacked. They destroyed a few ships. They disappeared. The Kraith could not pin them down, could not force a decisive battle, could not use their numbers advantage. It was death by 1,000 cuts. 50 Kraith ships dead, 100, 150. The humans lost ships too, but far fewer. For every human vessel destroyed, 5 Kraith died. Zarek was going insane with frustration. His fleet was larger, but it was being bled dry by an enemy that refused to stand still and fight properly. Find their homeworld. Find Earth. We will destroy it and force them to defend. But the route to Earth was heavily defended. Admiral Kozlov had stationed 200 ships in the Sol system, dug in with planetary defense platforms, minefields, and fixed fortifications. The Kraith tried to push through and lost another 100 ships in brutal fighting before they were forced to retreat. On the 10th day of the war, Zarek made a decision. He split his fleet. 800 ships would continue hunting human battle groups. 700 would circle around and try to find another route to Earth. It was exactly what Admiral Kozlov wanted. She had been waiting for the Kraith to split their forces. Now she could engage them on more equal terms. The 700 ships trying to flank toward Earth ran into a trap. Kozlov had positioned 400 ships from the Crimson Alliance along the route. With the terrain advantage and prepared positions, the Allied fleet held. The Kraith lost 200 ships trying to break through before finally retreating. The other 800 Kraith ships were now isolated, far from reinforcement, tired from constant hit-and-run attacks. Kozlov gathered her scattered battle groups and hit them with everything she had, 350 human ships, attacking in coordinated waves from multiple directions, using tactics the Kraith had seen before but could not counter. The Battle of the Outer Marches, as it came to be known, lasted 18 hours. When it was over, 500 Kraith ships were destroyed or crippled. The survivors ran, jumping to faster-than-light travel in random directions, just trying to escape. War leader Zarek was among the dead. His flagship had been one of the first targets. Admiral Kozlov had learned from Velkar. Cut off the head and the body falls apart. The Kraith Dominion lost over 900 ships in the campaign. Humanity and the Crimson Alliance lost 173. The mathematics should have been impossible. The numbers should not have worked. But they did, because humanity did not fight by the rules. They fought to win. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than light. The Kraith Dominion, one of the most powerful military forces in known space, had been defeated. Destroyed by a coalition of species that most people thought were insignificant. Led by humans who had only been in space for a few centuries, the Galactic Council held an emergency session. This time they did not debate sanctions or punishments. This time they debated survival. Because if humans could destroy the Kraith, what else could they do? Who else could they challenge? Chancellor Vex proposed a new status for humanity: Guardian Species. The first in galactic history, officially recognized as the military protectors of species unable to defend themselves. Given authority to intervene in cases of aggression or genocide, answerable to the Council but granted wide operational freedom, Ambassador Chen accepted the designation, not because she thought humanity needed permission, but because it was easier to work within the system than outside it. The Crimson Alliance became officially recognized. Its members gained protection under galactic law. The great empires agreed not to interfere. It was not perfect. There would still be conflicts. Still politics, still species that resented human power, but it was a start. A new understanding of how the galaxy could work. Admiral Kozlov stood on the observation deck of her flagship, looking at Earth through the window. The planet looked peaceful from here, blue and white and green, beautiful, worth fighting for. Her communicator beeped, another distress call. A species she had never heard of being threatened by raiders. They were asking for help. She smiled and pressed the response button. "This is Admiral Kozlov. Send us your coordinates. Help is on the way." Because that was what they did now. That was who humanity had become. Not conquerors, not empire builders, protectors, defenders. The people who showed up when the sky burned crimson, bringing fire to the enemies and hope to the innocent. Prime Minister Thelva sat in his office on the Velkari homeworld and composed a message to the Galactic Council. It was time for the regular update on his people's status. We asked for salvation, he wrote. We expected charity. We received justice. We asked for aid. We expected rescue. We received defenders. We asked for help. We expected mercy. We received warriors. He paused, thinking about how to end it. The humans came when no one else would. They fought when fighting seemed impossible. They stood when standing meant certain death. We will never forget. We will never abandon them. And we will teach our children that sometimes the greatest kindness is the strength to destroy evil, that sometimes heroes arrive in warships, that sometimes the sky must burn so that peace can follow. He sent the message and looked out his window at the clear blue sky. No more crimson, no more fire, just peace bought with blood and maintained with vigilance. The sky was beautiful again. But the Velkari would always remember the crimson sky. The day humanity came, the day everything changed, the day they learned that in a galaxy full of predators there was finally a species willing to be the monster that hunted monsters, and that made all the difference.